Tell us a little bit about what you've got going on over there.
All right. Well, each month we do Pinterest Club. So in December, we will have our next Pinterest Club meeting. It will be December 6th at 5:30 in the evening. The cost is $5, and that just includes your supplies. We will learn about wrapping gifts in creative manners, and then we will try a yummy recipe. Of course, we always eat at Pinterest Club. And then our craft this month will be a holiday card holder. So we're excited about that. We have a good group that comes. We always have room for more. All we ask is that you register and pay by November 30th. That'll be the deadline this month because we will have to get the supplies ready.
Okay, and what's the cost for the Pinterest Club?
It's $5.
$5. Mm-hmm. And do you have to be a member of the Extension office? Anything?
No, it's open to anyone. If you are interested in joining the Pinterest Club, and then you don't have to come in and pay each month, you get a reminder card in the mail, you'll become a Caldwell County Homemaker member, then the cost is $25, and that will cover you for the rest of this Pinterest Club year through May.
Okay.
And you wouldn't have to register each month, but it's $5 a class otherwise.
Okay. And you mentioned gift wrapping.
Yes.
Class. So I think, I can't remember who was here. Joni. Cooking with Joni, she was in here talking about different events going on, and she mentioned something about Christmas gift wrapping class. And we talked about the fact that I am a lousy gift wrapper. How are you at gift wrapping?
Well, I'm getting better. The gift wrapping class that you're referring to was taught by Morgan Russo, who is the FCS agent, the Family and Consumer Sciences agent in Livingston County. And that was our Homemaker Leader lesson for the month. And those of you that aren't familiar with homemakers or the Homemaker Leader lesson, each agent in the Penny Ryle area will pick one lesson per year, and then they go to each county and teach that lesson to homemaker leaders, club leaders, and then the club leaders go back and provide that information to their club members. So Morgan Russo taught the all wrapped up gift wrapping lesson. I attended that lesson, and then now I will teach Pinterest Club. And several of our homemaker leaders in the county attended the lesson, and then they will teach their leaders. So I'm getting better. I have lots of good ideas to share. Now I can share with you how to make those perfect crisp edges. My edges may not be great, but they're getting better.
I know. I struggle with it every year. I seriously need that class.
Well, come join us for Pinterest Club. We've got lots of ideas.
I would like to do that. I would. If my schedule allowed, I would be right there.
I understand.
I'm telling you what, it's a challenge for me, and it's right around the corner, and we don't realize how quick Christmas is coming.
I know. It will be here before we know it. I can't believe it's already the middle of October. October is long gone. It's the middle of November now.
Yes, you're a little bit behind, aren't you? I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. It feels like October, right?
October flew by.
It did. What else have you got going on?
Our Money Matters Meals program that we offer a free lunch during Money Matters, and we talk about money topics that matter to your family. This month, or in December, we'll talk about money habitudes. And for those of you that are questioning, yes, habitudes is a real word. And we'll just be discussing how your habits and attitudes, hence habitudes, are connected to how you spend money, and then trying to give you some tips and tricks if that's not exactly where you want your money to be going. We'll give you some tips on how to redo a few things to get your money where you want it to be going. We just offer tips and strategies. We don't tell you exactly what to do with it. We just give you those tips so then you can make the choices.
And when is that class?
That class is December 7th. It's a Friday at 12 o'clock, lunchtime.
And I'm assuming all of these are at the Extension office?
Yes, these are both at the Extension office.
Okay. Of course, the Caldwell, not the Callaway County
Caldwell County Extension Office on Highway 62.
Yes. And is there a fee for the Money Matters?
There is no fee for the Money Matters.
Okay.
So you get a free lunch. You get to learn a little bit about money. We just did our Money Matters meals on holiday budgets. And so we choose a different topic each month.
Yeah. That, did you find that families actually have budgets for holidays?
We didn't. I didn't ask if anybody already had a budget. We talked about some different tips that they personally used to save money through the holidays, and they had some really good ideas, things that they had done. Now, whether or not they had a budget, I told them that I set a budget, and then I have a niece and nephew, and sometimes, I like to be that aunt that spoils them, so I have to really rein myself in so that I don't go over my budget, and that is common for everybody. I said, I'm teaching this class, but we all do it. We all want to give and give and give to those that we love, but sometimes we just have to say, okay, this is our budget. It's more about spending time with those that we love rather than the amount of money that we're spending. And I said, I have to tell myself that too. So we're all in the same boat.
Absolutely. I have 6 nieces and nephews, so they don't even know my name at Christmas. I don't go there. But so are you free to share some of the tips that they...
Sure. One tip that we talked about was to make sure that you do pay your bills first, that don't neglect paying your bills. The next one is, once you have gotten your bills sorted out and think about how much that's going to cost you, make a realistic goal or a realistic number. Pick a realistic number that you can spend. And that doesn't just include gifts. That includes travel, decorations, food. If you're the person in charge, or I say in charge, if you're the one who everybody comes to your house, if you're the host or the hostess, maybe you don't have that traditional holiday meal. Maybe you have a potluck, or maybe you just go something completely different than what you usually do. There's no law that says you have to have Thanksgiving on, or have to have turkey on Thanksgiving, or you have to have ham at Christmas. Those are just traditions that some families have, but it doesn't have to be exactly that. For that meal, we had taco soup. And I said, this was a very easy, inexpensive meal. And most of the participants said, we really liked this. That could be something that you could have for a holiday. And it didn't take much time to prepare. And it was canned beans and canned tomatoes and some taco mix, or taco seasoning and ranch dressing mix. It didn't take very much money to make that taco soup. And then talk to your family and your friends, those that you do buy gifts for, and talk about how things might be a little different this year. You're going to set a budget and you're going to stick with it. Consider making gifts rather than purchasing gifts. Some of my favorite gifts that I have received are gifts that someone made me. They're gifts from the heart. So that's something that we have lots of crafty people, and you have much better ideas than I could come up with. But there are lots of things that can be done. And then, let's see, I had one and it flew right out of my head. Oh, no, there we go. The last one, consider a cash-only Christmas. And this does require a little bit of extra planning. So if it's not possible for this year, think for next year. Add up at the end of the year or whenever you choose to how much you want to spend around the holidays. Divide that out by the number of months. I usually do 10. I start in January, stop in October. And then from there, you've got that money set aside and you're ready to do your holiday shopping. And if you do choose to use credit, use it wisely. Do not use more credit than you can realistically pay for. Otherwise, you're spending way more than you normally would on the item.
I think you touched on, and I don't know if anybody suggested this, but you touched on one of the important things. It's not about the gifts and spending all this money. It's about getting together with your family. And my children's father's side of the family, quite a few years ago, it just grows and grows and grows with grandkids and great-grandkids.
Sure.
And, everybody's still around and still joining. And so they started a draw names out of hats. and that's the person you get a gift for.
Yes.
And they put a limit on the amount that you can spend on that person.
Sure.
And I think one year they even did a, if you want to put a donation in, then they donated it to some charity or something. But this way you're not, you know, if you've got 6 nieces and nephews,
Sure.
you're not going, oh my gosh, I can't afford that. And then I have my own kids too, you know.
Right.
2 kids of my own. And the older they get, the more expensive the gifts get.
Of course.
So, yeah, I think it's about, you know, just having that time together. And maybe if we could get to where we can focus more on that.
Right.
And less on, you know, what they have.
Yes.
And I know it's great to watch them open something that they really, really want. But
Right. But it is more about being together.
Absolutely. Do we have any more programs coming up you'd like to mention?
Those are the only 2 that I've got for December. December is a busy time for everyone, so we try to offer a couple of things at the beginning of the month and then let everybody do their shopping and go to visit their families. But if you ever have any questions, we're at the Extension office, so give us a call, 270-365-2787. You can find us on Facebook. You can send me an email. So we'll be there.
And we were talking before we got started. You said you have a few tips for us for my favorite holiday coming up in less than a week.
Yes, I can't believe it's already here.
Yes. So share with us the tips for Thanksgiving that you have.
Okay, so if you are doing the traditional turkey for Thanksgiving, I do have a couple of tips. And if you miss any of these, the University of Kentucky Family and Consumer Sciences Extension has a podcast called Talking Facts, FACS, and there is a whole podcast episode on turkey. So if you miss anything I say here, check out the podcast or feel free to give me a call. But just a couple of tips. Excuse me. If you are going to purchase a fresh turkey, do so no more than 2 days before Thanksgiving. Frozen turkeys can be purchased before then, but you want to allow enough time to thaw them properly, which would be in the refrigerator is number 1. In the sink using cold water that is changed every 30 minutes. So keep in mind that's the little extra in there that we don't think about. Or in the microwave if you are going to immediately cook it. And as far as the microwave goes, you have to follow your own manufacturer's directions. So I can't tell you exactly how long that would take. We recommend in the refrigerator or in the cold water. Cold water, did I say cold? Water, change it every 30 minutes. Don't wash your turkey. We get a lot of questions about, should I wash my poultry? Should I wash my chicken? Should I wash my turkey? No. Do not wash the turkey. That spreads bacteria onto your kitchen surfaces. So the only way to get rid of that bacteria is to cook it properly. So do not wash your turkey. Keep your turkey away from all other foods to avoid that cross-contamination. Cook the turkey until it reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is measured by a meat thermometer. You want to refrigerate your leftovers within 2 hours. And eat those leftovers within 3 to 4 days. If you're not going to eat the meat within 3 to 4 days, then you want to go ahead and freeze that. And up to 4 months for the best quality.
I mean, who only has it for 3 days? So I do.
That's the best food safety practice.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I did not know that. That's something I learned today. But the rest of it I knew. I tend to send it home with my Thanksgiving guests.
Yes.
So it's not left over. I'm not a huge fan of leftover poultry. Something changes. Is it just me or the taste of
I know what you're
poultry
saying.
changes?
I know what you're saying.
When it's sat in the refrigerator.
I understand.
But yeah, I did not know that you have to eat it within 3 days. And I am absolutely positive it has been left over longer than 3 days at my house.
That's the best food safety practice.
I understand. I need to practice better safety habits. I understand. I got it. I guess I will say that I've not actually, I knew to put it in cold water, but I did not, I don't change the water every, now what's the purpose of that?
So that the water does not come up to that dangerous temperature, the room temperature. You don't want to thaw anything at room temperature. That's the danger zone. Between 40 degrees and 140 degrees is called the danger zone, and that is where bacteria will multiply rapidly. So you keep your cold foods cold, hot foods hot.
And the problem then, I guess, is we're not cooking the turkeys at a high enough heat to kill that bacteria. Is that?
Well, as it's growing, it's just going to multiply and multiply and multiply. So you just want to be the safest that you can.
Okay. Okay. Anything else you'd like to add for us, Ashley?
Well, if you need something, if you have